Hello, everyone. Discipline isn't motivation, it's a decision. This is for everyone. Those that do rideshare, those that never thought about doing rideshare, and those that woke up the day with the idea of, I want to make some money. I also want to help my fellow man, my fellow lady, and I want to be of service. So, this will require discipline. What is that? For those that may not know, is doing what you need to do on days where you do not want to do it. Now, as far as rideshare, when you do this, you will quickly understand the lay of the land, your clientele, your passengers, what side of town you're going to, what time of day it is. Now, just imagine if you're sporadic and you do rideshare. Sometimes you won't know that at 6:30 a.m. that there's a lot of construction is being done. Therefore, you have to go a different route. This route is a back road, and this back road has a lot of curves and a lot of trees nearby. Also, when you take this route, your reception dies down a little bit. So you wouldn't know that. Now, just imagine you one morning you wake up, you're like, hey, I'm going to do this ride share thing. They send you down this route that I just explained. Your GPS not working. You have to go pick up a passenger. You don't know where the heck you're going. Well, you thought you knew where you were going, but you didn't know. Moving forward, you decide to be disciplined. You get beyond motivation. And from that day forward, once you understand that, hey, they do construction around this time, also, I may be a little late, give or take, because the direction goes out on the app due to the cell towers and the bars on the phone going low, then you know better. Then, when you're disciplined, you'll get up the next day or the next 2 to 3 days, and you'll find a different way to go, even with the construction. So instead of you now knowing two ways to get to where you need to be, now you know three. How did this happen? This occurred because you were being disciplined. Now, if you were just motivated, you could have just did it 3 days out of 7. And that's when you ran into the hiccup that I just mentioned. And now you stuck. You're stuck because you're not getting the results that you want to see. You think it's something due to where you live, the time of day. No, that's not it. The thing is, you're just not consistent enough and you're not disciplined. You were trying to look towards motivation, and motivation can only hold you so long. I mean, this falls in the same line of the people that goes to the gym. They say they're trying to get their body right for the summer, and they be in the gym for 2 weeks and then they stop. Why? Because the motivation fell off and they weren't really disciplined. Same thing in rideshare. Back to the folks that go to the gym and do this and they only there for 2 weeks and then they bounce. The thing is, even if they were working on their bodies for the summertime, my question to them would be, what about the wintertime? What about the fall? Then what? You just go back to being out of shape? Who knows? I'm sure you all know of people out there like that that's in the rideshare industry as well, and the people that say that air quotes they're going to work out, knowing damn well they ain't gonna work out. But it's all love. If you don't work out, you can always try again and try again because that's all you can really do. And eventually, you'll become disciplined, and you will turn a new leaf. But you got to be doing it for yourself, and it needs to come from somewhere internally. Even with doing rideshare, if you set out the goal saying, "Hey, I want to make X amount of dollars," I want to get to a point where I do not have to depend on going to certain spots, certain places. I want to build a Rolodex of individuals. I want to build up some clientele. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will require you to do at least 12 hours, 6 days out of 7. And yes, you can rest on the Sabbath day if you so choose. But if you don't want to, it's all love. The thing is, though, when you work and you're disciplined, this will put you in position to where you meet different personalities and you can network with different people. And you can learn more about yourself. You may be a person that like to run their mouth, but as you do rideshare, you learn to be quiet because the passenger wants quietness, and you want to be a service to the passenger, so you cool. Or you can be the other person, the person that don't really like to say much, and then you get a passenger in your vehicle that's full of energy and want to vent to you, spark a conversation with you. You never know who you meet. For example, when I was doing rideshare many moons ago, I met a lot of different people from different walks of life. I met people in real estate, met people in construction. Um, I also met a woman that was an accountant. She was like a CPA, had her own business. So the opportunities are there even after the motivation wears off. Because you got to understand, motivation is like it's like that good medicine you take, right? That good medicine you take, it serves its purpose, but eventually it wears off. How do we know it wears off? Because you have to continue to take it day in and day out. Anyone that ever had a bad cold, anyone that ever had strep throat, you start taking those medicines and then stop, and you thinking you healed, and you never heal correctly. Why? Because you was not disciplined. Also, you was not following instructions, but mainly because you wasn't disciplined, and you was feeling so good from the one time you took the medicine. You felt motivated to like, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm back to normal, until you learn that you're not. Um, and it's the same thing with the ride share. You have to be disciplined with it. You may not make a lot of money starting out because you're not putting in enough hours. You may come across some people who don't want to tip. You have a high chance of coming across people that will say things about you to the rideshare apps that are inaccurate. And guess what? You're not really going to be able to defend yourself unless, I retract that, you could defend yourself on some level if you have a dash cam, where when the passenger gets in your vehicle, you can record what they're doing, and you can even talk to it. Somebody get in your car, you can say, "Hey, I have Michelle, I have John. He's entering my car right now," and then you speak, "Hey, hello, John," and just get everything recorded. It's almost like the same things that the cops do, But the cops, as we know, they have the dash cam on them, but I believe they also have it in their vehicle. But that's what it's about. Discipline will get everything done. If you're a rideshare driver and you want to make a lot of money, or you want to just create a emergency fund, you want to take your wife somewhere, or if you're a wife and you want to take your husband somewhere, or if you want to just learn your city, rideshare will help you, you know. But the thing is, discipline will help you the most. It will get you everything you want and need. The same with the people in the last example that took the medicine and they got well. Why? Because they took the medicine, they were disciplined. They didn't just take it when they were motivated. They took it till they felt 1,000% sure they were back to normal. And that's what it's about, you know. That works in all areas of life. Even those in the gym, those that go beyond the 2 weeks and they're disciplined with how they eat and the consistency that they do things, they'll see results. It won't be fast. Well, depends on some occasions it could be fast because I've heard stories of people saying they lost weight fast and that their body changed fast. So it is possible, but it usually takes time. Um, you all can let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's people out there that have certain professions. You could be a teacher, you could be a contractor, you could do rideshare driving, you could be a fitness trainer, you could be a dance choreographer, you could be a system engineer, you can be a programmer, a computer programmer. Everyone knows it takes discipline. No matter the profession, it takes discipline. And yes, motivation is a real thing, but what is also real thing is that the motivation will leave. Discipline is like rain, sleet, hell, or snow. It's going to get done. So that's all for today. Thank you all for listening, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.
You understand?